of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is gonna feel something from it. And it ain't gonna be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
In Florida, man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots.
Oh, Tank's gonna kill him. Tank's gonna kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
okay. It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's gonna kill him because he will not get hit.
The boxing world is buzzing with excitement and disbelief as Gervonta Tank Davis appears to be in the best physical shape of his career ahead of his much-anticipated fight with Jake Paul. Recent training footage has captured Davis delivering explosive combinations on the heavy bag, each strike echoing with power and precision. His speed, sharpness, and intensity have left fans and analysts stunned, proving how deeply committed he is to preparation. Every movement, every punch, reflects his laser focus and unmatched discipline. Observers note that this version of Tank Davis looks stronger, faster, and more determined than ever before, signaling that he's not just coming to compete, he's coming to dominate. Boxing analysts agree that Gervonta Davis has a very strong chance of winning, but they emphasize that victory depends on fighting smart. They insist that Davis must rely on movement, timing, and tactical precision rather than seeking an early knockout. Tank's real brilliance lies in his patience, in his ability to read opponents, adapt to their rhythm, and strike when the moment is perfect. Experts predict that if Davis stays composed and uses his footwork to control the ring, Jake Paul will struggle to match his speed and accuracy. While Davis is known for his knockout power, they argue that his true danger lies in his defensive IQ and counterpunching ability. When he fights strategically, no opponent at Jake Paul's level can withstand his balance of intelligence, power, and technique.
Can his speed and, his ability make up for that size difference, in your honest opinion?
Well, he has to be very smart throughout the course of the fight. It's hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab. Jake's fighting one of the best boxers ever.
Many experts predict that Jake Paul will be hit with a harsh reality once he faces Gervonta Davis inside the ring. They believe Tank's experience, speed, and fight IQ are simply in a different league. While Jake has faced strong opponents before, none have possessed Tank's lightning reflexes, timing, or ability to exploit openings with ruthless efficiency. Analysts suggest that once Davis lands clean, the power difference will be impossible to ignore. They describe Jake's defense as still raw and unrefined, while Davis's years of experience allow him to anticipate and counter every move. For this reason, many see a knockout as inevitable, not because Jake lacks toughness, but because Tank's precision and explosiveness are on a level few can endure.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta Tank Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta Tank Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's gonna go ahead and put this man to sleep. I'm telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. You Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, if he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy, and just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all want to say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, he needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I'll say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
a 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
That's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level, and it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilla Killers.
Chilla Killers. Chilla Killers.
The topic of weight has become one of the most debated aspects of this fight. Critics argue that Jake Paul's size advantage is too large to overlook, while others believe Davis's refined skill set and technical mastery will neutralize any physical gap. Some fans even question whether the fight should have been sanctioned, given the difference in frame and mass. However, Davis's supporters remind everyone that boxing has never been about size, it's about control, timing, and intelligence. They point to Tank's ability to outmaneuver bigger opponents in the past with ease, emphasizing that his superior speed and ring IQ make him a constant threat regardless of weight. The consensus among most experts remains clear: Jake Paul's fundamentals are still too limited to handle a fighter as technically brilliant as Gervonta Davis.
Is happening. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their professional record.
Former UFC champion Michael Bisping weighed in on the matchup, offering a thoughtful perspective. He praised Davis's incredible power, adaptability, and mental sharpness, but cautioned that physical differences can't be completely ignored. Bisping acknowledged that Tank has the ability to outthink and outmaneuver larger opponents, but he also noted that enduring the power of a naturally heavier fighter could test his stamina and durability. Despite that, Bisping expressed deep respect for Davis's mindset, saying that if anyone can defy those odds, it's him. He concluded that while the size factor is real, Tank's technical precision and discipline might still be enough to overcome Jake Paul's physical edge, provided he sticks to a flawless strategy and avoids unnecessary risks.
They're taking on Mike Tyson, that's pushing 60 years old, for crying out loud, but at the same time pretending to be like this badass motherfucker, sending me DMs talking. He offered me a contract a long time ago, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm a retired fighter and I've got one eye. Why would I want to fight you? I wouldn't lower myself to doing that. I know a lot of people do that. They do lower themselves, if you want to say that, because of the payday. Because Jake Paul is a big name. He is a social media sensation. He's a YouTube star. And now, of course, in the world of boxing, he's one of boxing's biggest stars because he puts on these spectacles like Paul versus Tyson, like Nate Diaz, because these are the fighters, these are the names that attract the eyes. Jake Paul is the B-side to almost every single one of his fights. When he fought Nate Diaz, people were tuning in for Nate Diaz. His last fight against Cesar Chavez Jr., Apparently no one watched that fight. Apparently the pay-per-views were ridiculously low. So this one's going back to Netflix on November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this would be very, very dangerous and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him and hit him many, many times and not knock him out with the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling around inside the head and Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could, it's dangerous. That's why fights like this can't get sanctioned. That's why this is a exhibition bout and not a real matchup. Now listen, they're both going to get paid tremendously. They're going to make a ton of money and a lot of people are going to tune in and watch it on Netflix.
Several analysts have criticized how Gervonta Davis's accomplishments are often overlooked or downplayed. They point out that fighters who share the ring with Tank frequently gain enormous recognition afterward. For instance, opponents like Lamont, who were relatively unknown before facing Davis, have seen their profile skyrocket post-fight. This, they argue, highlights Tank's influence and star power. His presence alone elevates others, drawing massive audiences and attention to the sport. Analysts reject the narrative that Davis isn't a major figure in boxing, insisting that his ability to create opportunities for others simply by fighting them proves his importance to the sport's current era.
Ongoing discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis, his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them. Because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now, let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who was somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely, when he defends his WBC 140-pound championship, or does he have the WBA?
Coach Reg offered a grounded and balanced take on the criticism surrounding Gervonta Davis's career choices. He reminded fans that Tank has already achieved far more than most fighters his age and has every right to take high-paying fights after years of sacrifice. According to Reg, securing financial stability is a crucial part of any boxer's journey, especially in a sport as dangerous as boxing. He emphasized that Tank has already proven himself inside the ring and now deserves to reap the rewards of his hard work. Whether Davis continues fighting or decides to retire early, Reg believes his legacy as one of the top lightweights of his generation is already firmly established.
You know what I mean? Especially Tank been talking about retiring, so why not get the bag and then go about your business if that's your plan? I mean, if that's your plan to retire, then go get the bag and go about your business. You ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm not against it.
You got some people that are very critical of Tank. Does it make sense depending on what you're in boxing for? Because you got some people that want to fight the best. You got some people that want the accolades, the belts, the undisputed. You got some people that just came into this game like, look, I'm trying to get my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth. Does it all depend on what you decided to box for?
Well, Tank accomplished a lot at a young age. You know what I mean? He accomplished a lot at a young age. So I wouldn't be mad if he took the bag and went about his business and never fought again. You know what I mean? Plus, like, look at some of the things that he's going through. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of that can affect you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to be in this game. So, I think, you know, get the bag and go. That's your plan. Get the bag and go.
For me, of course, I wanted to see him fight Shakur. I wanted to see him fight Devin.
Yeah, we all wanted to see him fight.
Guess what, bro?
Some analysts highlight that Gervonta Davis's popularity extends far beyond the boxing ring. As one of America's most recognizable fighters, Tank's bouts have become major cultural events that capture the attention of both hardcore fans and casual viewers. His charisma, style, and dominance have made him a symbol of excellence and confidence in modern boxing. Experts explain that this cultural impact brings both admiration and criticism, but it also guarantees attention. Every move Davis makes becomes a headline. Still, most agree that it's not just his fame but his undeniable skill that keeps him in the spotlight. His talent ensures that when he steps into the ring, the world watches.
Davis, especially an American black fighter, right? Everything is embellished and, you know, made into a bigger deal, especially when they're popular fighters like Gervonta Davis. Or Floyd Mayweather has a close fight with Castillo Maidana, and it's the end of the world. Andre Ward has a tough fight with Kovalev. Oh, it's the end of the world, he cheated and all this stuff. Jermell Charlo has a close fight with Castano, so on and so forth, right? Oh, Jermell, it was a robbery, and it turns into this big deal. But back to Tank's resume, his last opponent was Lamont Roach. I thought he won the fight. There wasn't this crazy action happening on Lamont Roach's side prior to that knee thing. I feel like when the knee fiasco happened, that's when the fight started to pick up a bit. And Lamont Roach, I think what he deserves credit for is he exceeded expectations that people have for him. But you can't score a fight based on expectations. You feel me? Right? Like, you don't get a fight and get the victory because you did better than people thought you were going to do. That is not how you score boxing, right? You don't get more points because you're the underdog and you did better. It's not how boxing works at all, right?
Analysts describe this fight as more than just a boxing match, it's a global entertainment spectacle. Jake Paul's massive social media following and crossover appeal have helped turn the event into a cultural phenomenon. With Netflix involved in broadcasting, it's guaranteed to reach millions of viewers worldwide. While purists believe Tank will dominate based on skill and experience, others acknowledge that Jake's star power brings a unique energy to the event. This fight symbolizes the merging of sport and entertainment, a blend of elite boxing and mainstream spectacle. Regardless of the outcome, both fighters are poised to make global headlines and redefine what it means to be a modern prizefighter.
Jake Paul thoughts, I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote-unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is, you know...
Do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then...
Okay. It's kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when there was
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's going to kill him because he will not get hit.
Stephen Fulton stepped forward to defend Gervonta Davis against accusations of chasing easy money. He argued that every boxer deserves to secure their future after years of risking their lives in the ring. Fulton reminded fans that Davis has already proven himself against elite competition and earned the right to balance financial reward with legacy. He emphasized that the boxing community should respect fighters who understand their worth instead of holding them to outdated standards. Fulton's defense of Tank echoes a broader sentiment, one that applauds fighters for being both smart and self-aware in an era where fame and fortune often intersect with athletic greatness.
body in that position would have taken that fight, especially with the payout. It's like, that's a no-brainer, but I understand. I still feel for Lamont. That's my boy. Like, he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers. Be like, oh, he this for that. He's this. It's a side quest. It's a little side quest. Because what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they're doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's another little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment world. Because, I mean, I don't know. I would have done it as far as the money aspect, because none of us would deny that money. They talking like they would, none of them would deny it.
Former heavyweight contender Eddie Chambers cautioned fans against underestimating Gervonta Davis. He acknowledged Jake Paul's physical strength but stressed that Tank's technical brilliance, explosiveness, and composure make him one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. Chambers explained that Davis's timing and counterpunching are so precise that even larger opponents often crumble under his pressure. Unless Jake Paul drastically improves his defense and ring awareness, Chambers believes he'll struggle to withstand Davis's speed and intensity. He concluded by saying that physical size means little when you're facing someone with Tank's level of discipline, reflexes, and knockout instinct.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media, this is what it's created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot, so I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is gonna feel something from it. And it ain't gonna be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
That wraps up today's coverage. As the countdown to Fight Night continues, the world watches closely to see whether Gervonta "Tank" Davis can once again prove why he's considered one of the sport's most dangerous and dynamic champions, or whether Jake Paul can shock the world and